Actually, meeting is now streaming live. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. We're going to be starting in just a minute as we are working through our little bit of technological issues. So do you see it on the other side, Joel, running through?
Yeah, it's live.
Yeah, that's changing your
thing.
Yeah, because that shit's for more for gold jewelry.
Seriously,
we're on
I will
YouTube.
go through and verify.
Okay. I'll just have to look on the YouTube channel. It's the easiest way to look. Yep, we're live on Dale's side. Hello, everybody on Dale's side there too. All right. We will get started in just a minute here. All righty, everyone. Let's just take a little moment. So, Joel, we are live, going to go. We're probably all set on the other channels. We're still waiting for some people to come into the Zoom room. Let me open up the Zoom room and admit all. There we go.
Can you just check my audio? I've just put my earbuds in. Am I okay?
You're good. Yep.
Good. Okay.
Joe,
All right.
could you make us a co-host as well on the thing? Okay, or I think Andrew, you can do that, can't you? Yeah.
So 1 second.
Yeah.
I can't make you a co-host. Only the host can. There you go. You're a co-host now.
Thank you.
All righty. We're going to start in just a minute. Everyone that's coming into the room, we want to let everybody to get an opportunity to be here because everyone's a little bit early. All right. Let's just do a quick opening prayer, everyone. Clear out the old energies, bring in the new energies. So I, in this ever-present moment of now, choose to activate my inner spirit, my outer spirit, and the spirit within us all, so we may have a cleansing, relaxing, opening prayer that removes the fright or frustration of any live show. Allow everybody to be in their unique and open space so that healing can occur. Within the healing is a future world waiting for us to take a part, to be a part of it, and to do something special with it. With that being said, Amanda, tell us what it was like for you a week later now. What was it like for you?
So the first couple of days, it was great. I was happy. We were like, as a family, we were like flowing a lot more. We were spending time with the kids, having fun. I was a lot more open. I was able to open my heart more. And then the lessons started moving in. So it was like one after another lesson in trust, trusting in the universe, trusting in my spirit team, trusting in myself. And I spent most of the time working, in ceremony, working with that one shard. The shard that was there at the initial shock of the experience that I went through. So I had like such an awareness of this shard of myself, and it was like I was kind of forced into healing it. And I feel like I've come very, very far with that. I feel like she's where she needs to be now, but it's been a lot.
Yeah, for sure. The first the first couple of days, there was such a density removal from her that like she was glowing. Like literally she was glowing. And she like reached this state where she was just unfuckwithable, right? Her frequency and the vibration that she was maintaining was so high that it was like a force field, like a shield. You know what I mean? Like things could not penetrate it. They were out there, right, but we could observe it and they couldn't enter us. I also ended up, taking your advice about the drumming and everything. And it started out as kind of like, not really a serious thing. It was kind of like, me being silly and everything. And I actually got really, really into it. Like I went through like 13 different light languages that I didn't even know they were just coming out, and I know that they were different because I mean, I could just tell by like the words, how they were put together, the tones, the sounds, it was completely different.
Mhm.
So I went through all these different light languages and everything like that.
He ended up connecting with a shard of myself from childhood. And so we uncovered a lot around that as well.
So I actually ended up doing a soul shard recovery on Amanda. And I didn't even realize that I could do this, or that I have been doing this for some time. I didn't, know the terminology, but I actually ended up doing a soul shard recovery on her. And I went in and I took this cage from around her torso that was attached to her, and I took it off. And there was this fairy version of herself that was trying to put this cage back on. And I remember what Dale was saying about how he talked to this other shard. And I did the exact same thing. I really just connected heart to heart with her through what I was saying. And, I basically
was that through the butt drumming?
I'm pretty sure it was right after that.
It was right after.
Okay, it was
So
right
we
after
went through
that.
the butt drumming, and then you were doing the shamanic chanting for a little while, and then you ended up connecting with the shard.
So I was talking to the
Real
shard.
question, hold on. Was the shard embedded in the butt or external? And you got the telephone message through the butt to its external space?
I think it was inside. I really do.
Yeah.
Because, I like closed my eyes and I went inside Amanda's body, and I removed this cage, and this fairy version of herself was trying to put this cage back on, and was trying so desperately to protect her. And I just let her know that, her very being, just her existing as who she is the ultimate form of protection. There is no need to feel not safe or to do this or that to try to protect her. Just her existing as who she is protection enough. And I let her know that, we need you on the team. Like, you have so much to offer and so much to experience. And I just connected to her heart to heart, and we cried and everything like that. And, she accepted, and she went, to become a part of her heart, a part of who she was. And it was just really a beautiful experience.
Yes, it was.
Can't hear you.
Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
Are you certain?
I'm certain enough.
Is there a part of you that isn't ready?
Yeah. There's
Hold on, we
definitely-
got something inside your screen off to your left.
It's a crystal.
It's a crystal. I'm like, what the fuck? What is that
Squiggling in
thing?
like, hi guys.
one of our
Okay.
friends.
Since we started a little bit early, a whole bunches of people are starting to flood in now, so we're just gonna give it an opportunity for people to flow in here. So in my process that we're going to be working with Trent, I am going to be interrogating him on one level, but also questioning him on another level. Okay. So I'm literally going to be your interrogator. Okay. But I'm not going to be putting you in spiritual gitmo. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Before we went live, Trent was talking about, how some of the things can flow. Yet when he's on show, it doesn't. All that is the program's taking over. And we're going to intentionally put the programs on spotlight, and they're not going to want to talk, and they're going to want to take over. And this is where you get to access your subconscious. So people trying to understand the process of what's going on here. We all have a binary system called your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. When multiple healers come from multiple positions, we are not binary. And the binary system can only defend from two directions. It can't defend from all directions. It does not have a pre-programmed defense for everybody that's in the room that will be going through the questioning phase. Or if a questioner knows how to change their position, so the programs aren't ready with a prepared energy. So quite literally, when you feel that stuttered, I can't answer, that's the program running you. And only you can get it over, okay? And there'll be times where I sense the stall in you, and you're about to answer, but I might interrupt to do it again to see how much stalling energy is behind you, okay? Okay, so some of this is a little bit of stage fright, but it's minuscule compared to whatever else is going on for you, okay?
I agree.
And for everybody else that is out there, while we're going through this with Trent and Amanda, you can also be doing this to yourself. There are many different ways to observe the journey of this healing that's going on. You can just watch it. You can perceive it. You can do it with yourself. So if I say this, or this, what is your answer back? Okay. And just to allow yourself to be a part. There is a whole communal healing team that's working in the other realms here. And all you got to do is have enough trust in yourself to let the healing happen for you too. So we very much like to ask people what they thought about the first show while we're waiting for more and more people to come in, because we're right at actual starting hour. So anybody that's in the chat room right now, give us some feedback, what you felt from the first show. And then Dale, if you want to, give any secondary perceptions about what you experienced while we were going through that.
Yeah. So when you were saying about that soul shard and you were speaking to it as well. So I've had conversations and me learning a lot more about soul shards in the psychic surgery work I do, and that capacity to be able to actually counsel them, like you were counseling someone on a chair. And Andrew helped me with this when we were doing a few things, private stuff, but it's incredible that you're able to actually access and start counseling that shard, telling that shard it needs to do something else, because that shard's kind of like gone off onto a different path and you have to kind of bring it back into the body, balance it and so on. So yeah, very inspired from it. And what you're going through as well, it's not going to be easy. Like things I've gone through in the past with the self-healing and stuff I've got over some dark stuff in my life. And it's like we go back to that healing's a process, not an event. It's something we should be doing all the time. And the more you do this, the more you're going to chip layers and layers off the rock. And it's going to start falling off until life's easier. But still shit will happen. Shit does happen. And this is why going back to that inner work is so important, because it gives you that sense of protection. One of my best protection I have is my work, the work I do 6 days a week on myself. That's the best way I can be protected. Obviously, there's other stuff as well to advance on that. But it's going back to that basics of doing that 6 to 5 day a week work and actually doing it, having fun and forgiving yourself. Like we've all gone through crazy shit. I've gone through crazy shit in the past, and I've got soul shards doing some shit as well. We've had a lot of conversations about that. So yeah, it was inspiring to see. And Amanda, what you've gone through and your confidence as well, and the spark from at the start of the session to the end. It's like that feeling of when you see someone coming into a ceremony and they come in and they're like, you can tell they're quite tired or this and that. Then afterwards, or after the healing session you've given for them, they've got this spark of unique light. So yeah, just keep digging, and that process of those soul shards is going to be a big teacher for a lot of people to understand we all have those as well, and how to work on them and how to heal them and bring them home in a way. So yeah.
Laura, do you want to give your view?
Yeah, I mean, look at you two. You did what you did last week with Andrew, which was phenomenal. And then you carried on with your backside drumming and doing everything you both did there. Yeah, so, I mean, that's awesome. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, Amanda, your face, you lifted, you shifted. And that was beautiful to see. And Trent is a huge support, as you know, to you. And it's lovely to feel his energy there and supporting you through this. And I think just my own sort of feeling of all of this is you're still doing a lot of work. You've still got stuff going on that will go on for a while, because it's always going to take a while to do. And in the in-between moments, do something that's fun together. get that smile back on your face, really to light you up again, whatever it is, whether it's watching a comedy show or whatever you two do that gives you fun. Keep doing that as well, because you've got to have joy in this journey too. It's not, we know it's a serious subject. We know how hard betrayal is, especially, for you in this situation. So find some joy in it and flip those betrayal frequencies as well with some fun along the way. And it really is a pleasure to sort of be part of the team facilitating you on this. It's a real honor.
Yes. Maty, you weren't here for the last show, but you want to give your introspection from listening?
I would just reiterate everything that's been said, and just know that we have these moments of inspiration when awesome things happen, and we have that energy behind us, and eventually everything that arises falls away. But it's a case of not allowing yourself to go into depression or think that you've done something wrong when that happens, and just know that obviously you've got to process everything that's happened. And it's always an ongoing process, but what's important is the skills that you're learning, the way you're learning them together, and that we're showcasing here a whole different way to do healing.
Exactly. A whole different way to do healing. With that being said, everybody, we're going to begin the next journey. So Trent, this is about you today. And let everybody in the audience, this is an ongoing series. We started with Amanda, we'll do Trent. And the next time we do a show, we're going to do them together. And then we're going to do them individually. So everybody can see the journey of healing so you can apply it to yourself. Part of this particular style of show was to show the advanced healers doing the advanced work so that people have a unique example of how to begin to do it in their life. Okay? So everybody, if you're just coming in, we've already done our opening prayer. We just talked about stuff. Yes, we started a little early. We're testing some new technology, so we're sorry about it if you just came in and wondering what's going on. So right now, I'm going to open it up. So Trent, I just want you to enter the deep, relaxed space. Let yourself go of the external sources. Do not allow anything else to occupy your mind, your body, your spirit. Okay? Just let it be you. Amanda, you're here to hold space for him. You know him better than anybody else in this entire place, and everything that's going on. Today is your unique day to hold space for just him. Now, in this ever-present moment, the first question, Trent, are you really ready?
I'm really ready.
What part of you is not ready?
The part of me that's not ready is the fear of judgment part of myself, the part that's constantly ahead of time, judging my every move, the part of me that's probably in the past as well, judging my every move.
So take a pause there. I want you to summon that inner judger inside you. See it in front of you. Okay? And going, you cannot judge me anymore. Say it.
You cannot judge me anymore.
What's it say back to you?
Said, fuck you.
Okay? That's one of your classic old rebel yous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay? How do you control that old rebel you?
Can it be controlled?
Only you know. How have you beaten it before?
I have many, many times.
Okay. Do you need to choke it out? Do you need to give it a cookie? What do you need to satiate it for this journey where it cannot judge you?
I don't think choking it or giving it food will help. I think it just needs love and understanding. It needs something to want to come, because no amount of force is going to make it come. It has to willingly. It's almost like it's become sovereign in some weird way. You know?
It's time for you to take its sovereignty away and remind it it's an aspect you created. And it's going to fight. So with that energy said right there, Maty, I want to bring you in to help coach him talking to this aspect that has taken sovereignty of the rebel side.
Okay.
And have words for Trent to say to it.
So I'm relaying it to something that I've been through before, but I'm trying to just block that out and come up with something very different, because I've given away my sovereignty in such a great, huge way. But with a shard, it's so much easier to take back control. So it would be something along the lines of, this shard that is the rebel of me, you who have caused so much trouble in my life, you have taught me so many lessons, you who has brought me to my knees in despair, you who has always made me turn the wrong corner or look when I shouldn't have looked. I release you now. I see what you are. You have taken power from me. You have power no more. I am a sovereign being and I choose to heal in this moment of now and for every ever-present moment of now to come. I choose to live free of you. I take back this power, and any energy that's been given away, any energy I've lost through your misuse of my energy is hereby brought back to me in this spiritual court of equity and given back 1,000-fold for my own creation, my own inspiration, my own dreams, and my own future. So I may be a being of the now, here, fully embodied without your influence.
How did your shard react to that energy?
Well, part of me, I don't think my shard was really reacting. I think the actual part of me was just focused because of the truth of what he's saying.
Is the
So I
shard
don't-
reacting? Is the shard reacting at all?
You know, there was a time whenever the shard was like bullshit while Maty was talking. And I
Did that
don't,
bullshit have strength behind it? That word bullshit, did it have strength or power?
it didn't. That's the thing. It's like, it's there, but it's weak.
So
But
this
it's
is where I
still-
would, this
it's
is why I would
still
give him a
powerful.
smack around the face, Trent.
Yeah.
This is why I would smack him around the face.
I'm trying not to use violence anymore to solve
No,
my
it's
problem.
it's you.
It's you.
I'm sure you can take it.
I'm sure you could take a smack from yourself. Okay, this is not smacking a little kid. Okay, I'm whack him one, bitch. Pay attention. Okay,
Just imagine it was someone who's been fucking up your life all your life, and you eventually get to say, do you know what? No more, and they won't take no for an answer. All they're waiting for is that, and then they know you've crossed the line.
Well, if that's the case, it needs the literal shit smacked out of it.
okay, smack it full on.
Do it.
Okay, what did it do? How did it react?
I'm pretty sure it's just laying there.
Not
now.
pretty sure. Be confident.
Well, it's trying to make me feel bad for smacking him. You know, the whole thing of trying to flip it on me when it was him.
Guilt, judgment. Get right back to what its power pace was. So the smack didn't do jack shit to it. Now that we know that, I want to bring Dale in here.
12
So
hands.
what I'd like you to do is get that shard and put him on a chair in front of you. So just visualize or not visualize, feel the shard in front of you. And I want you
What
to
I'm
start.
gonna do
And I
is
want
I'm
you
gonna
to start.
shrink him, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
put him right here.
Yeah, so shrink him down wherever you want to do, shapeless and formless to it. Put it in front of you, and I'd like you just to say some words, just your own creation in this, of just disempowering this shard and telling this shard enough's enough. It's time for you to be able to heal and come into a space. You fucked me off long enough. Just some changing energy you can give to this shard to counsel it and tell it to fucking not do what it's doing. So like you're a counselor and you've got this fucking crazy person come and sat down and he's like, shout at me. So just let it rip, brother.
All right.
So you can do this internally, Trent, as well, right? You can visualize yourself doing it at different rates of speed. You can just take this all internal if you want, and you can just be and imagine yourself doing it as well. There's many different ways and levels that you can do this. It doesn't have to be done in all the right words at the right moment.
I think I agree with that, Maty. I think with this example, it does need to be verbal.
Okay.
I would say what I'm saying now, that
would talk like they're actually talking to it. Forget all the rest of us here as you're talking to it.
yeah. So I understand, I understand you. I mean, you are me, and in ways I am you. And there's been so many times when you have helped me, and there's been so many times that I did need this aspect of you. But when I think about it, when I truly think about it, I actually never needed you. I actually never needed you. And as hard of a talk as this is, it's truth, because I didn't have to constantly prepare for this. I didn't have to feel unsafe. You made me believe that I had to feel this way. But it was a lie, because I actually was always safe. And though the judgments may have been there, they may not have been there. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't add or subtract from my actual value as a person. You've subtracted from my value as a person. You've stole experience from me. You've made exchanges for me without my consent, and you've made exchanges for me with my consent. And this is the moment that I take the consent back that I've given to you. This is the moment where you either get on board or you get the fuck out, because there is no other mission. There is no side mission. This is the mission. This is the goal.
It's not going to get on board with you. I'm in charge. You gave up being in charge a long time ago. You gave me the power, and here's your blood oath that gave me the power. Make me leave. That's what it's saying to you right now. Remember when you were angry at everyone in the world and you needed me to get through it?
Yeah, I do remember that. And
you gave me all the power, bitch. And you think you can take it back now?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think I am taking my power back. You no longer have control over me.
Prove it. Prove it.
There's nothing to prove.
Sure. If you prove it, I no longer exist. Until then, I'm right in your face, owning you. Remember what we did that one night and how much you loved it?
Did we love it, or did you love it?
Oh, you loved it along with me.
See, you thought I loved it. I thought I loved it. But that was you living vicariously through my experience. That was you living vicariously through my experience. That wasn't me enjoying it. That was manipulation. There was no friendship. There was no happiness. You controlled my life. You can no longer control my life. And I forever banish you on all time streams, time fields, galaxies, and existence, past, present, and future. I am in full possession of my sovereignty. I'm in full possession to exchange with whom I want, when I want, and how I choose to exchange. Your power is forever dissolved. Your power is dissipated.
Big words for a little man.
Yeah. I would say that too in your position.
In what position?
The position of powerlessness. Because that's all you can do is try to influence, try to scare, try to invoke fear within me. These are your tricks, and your tricks no longer work. They work then, they do not work anymore. They cannot work for a being who is centered in truth, who is present in the now, and who has taken back their life and is creating from this point forward and backward.
You shattered that piece. Now I want to bring Laura in here. Go on, Laura.
So only one of us has control of this heart. Only one of us sits behind the driving wheel of this heart, and that is me. And when I send you away, it's like lovers who loved once and don't love anymore. You served a purpose once for me. You were the rebel when I needed you to be the rebel. When I was in times of survival, you aided me. But now I do not need that. For I am a fully sovereign being, and I have the one who has the love of my ancestors behind me now, rooting me here to my heart. So I say goodbye, give me back my front door key, and go and close the front door behind you. And I remain here with the full love of my ancestors surrounding me and surrounding my heart. And I rise up. I'm potent. I am strong. I am stronger now that you have gone than I was with you.
Oh,
So Amanda, what were you feeling during this?
I definitely feel him stepping more into his power. There's definitely a release. He definitely had to say those words. I honestly feel like, you know, it's still hanging on.
You still know there's something else in there.
Yes.
What is what as his lover, what would you say it is?
I think it has to do with first his self-worth and what he deserves.
Okay, so you have a hand on his back.
Yes.
I want you to reach into his body and pull out the shard that is that makes him feel self-worthless, and put it right in front of his face so he has to look at it, because he has avoided this shard for a long time. Bitch, look at it. What do you see?
brokenness.
Mm-hmm.
Quite simply that, broken pieces.
I want you to pick it up, put it in your hands like this, and start doing Rubik's Cube. Put it back together and just verbalize what it's saying as you're moving the Rubik's Cube.
I am not worthy. They cannot hear my truth or feel my truth. You should have said this. You should have said that.
Yeah.
It hears people laughing at him. There is judgment going on. Real judgment and false judgment created by myself.
Mm.
It's ready to hear what you have to say, what I have to say.
So I want to bring Dale in now.
So like you, again, it's just you feel this shard in front of you and just, again, having another conversation and just bringing this worthiness back. And I'd like you to really go deep into maybe parts where you didn't feel worthy, and now you're reclaiming that worthiness and just bringing that energy into and focus on that shard and telling me it's now time for me and for you to basically fuck off, change. And I'm starting to feel worthy. That type of energy, like again with the other shard, just exactly the same process. Go ahead, brother.
First thing I want to say is that you are worthy. You are worthy. There was reasons that came up that had you feeling unworthy. There was times when you thought that you should do this or do that to prove your worth. And that actually wasn't your worth, and it caused more confusion for you. There was times when you tried to fit in places that you know that you shouldn't have been. There was times when you went against your moral code and did things to fit in or for approval or to survive at the time. That's caused more confusion to you. There's been a lot of things that have happened that's caused even more confusion to your state of confusion. And that's just the thing, is this whole shard, this whole version of you is just a being that's in confusion, a confused being. I bring truth back to you now. You do not have to do this or that to fit in. You do not have to say this or do that to be approved by other people. You know your moral compass. You know the things that you have to do. And you also know that you being who you are in your unique expression is enough to get the approval from the right people. It's enough to fit in with the right people, because that's all you've ever wanted, was to fit in and to be approved. And it wasn't by who you were fitting in with and who you were being approved with at that time. And that's okay, because with the understanding that you had at that time, that's what you had to do to fit in. And you did, and it got you through. It did get you through at that time. But it's caused so much confusion. It's caused so much confusion. I'm here to remove that confusion from your being.
I am now taking away your ability to value or devalue me.
I now take away your ability to value or devalue me.
You no longer have access to any of my energetic bank accounts.
You no longer have access to any of my energetic bank accounts.
You have no longer access to any of my potential futures.
You no longer have access to any of my potential futures.
You are but a memory.
You are but a memory.
No longer a program.
No longer a program.
No longer a part of my choices.
No longer a part of my choices.
Okay. I want you to give it back to Amanda and she can put it back where it goes.
Give him a little kiss.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to bring Laura in here next. And Laura, I want you to put the interrogation light on him. Your version of the interrogator's light. Solicitor Laura.
So we've dealt with 2 shards so far. So I'm wondering, what else is there that we're not looking at, that you're not looking at? That if you were to look deeply at it, another aspect of you would change the way you feel about things. What part of you are you not addressing that, if you were to address, would change some of the things in your life?
Automatically what comes up is unworthiness. And it's weird because I thought we just dealt with unworthiness fraction, but it's probably another fractal that feels unworthy.
Laura's light is different than my light, which is different from Dale's light, which is different from Maty's light. And the feminine light is showing you another aspect of unworthiness. So reach in, find out where it is. What is it? Where did it come from? And just let Laura, you finish. I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay, Laura. So this unworthiness part of me, it came from my childhood. Whenever I felt unworthy, and whenever I felt unheard, and whenever I was misunderstood by the people that was around me, raising me at the time. And this is why I created the strategy version of myself, always preparing for this or that. This is why I went outside the moral compass to do this or to do that, to find a place where I did fit in. But the thing was, even when I did, I didn't truly fit in. It was all a joke. It was all a game.
Because you did. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Trent. Go on.
Just to feel. The thing was, I wanted to rebel so much because of all the things that I knew was wrong. But a part of me just wanted to fit in and find my home. That's what I've wanted to do all my life, is find where I fit in, find my home, find the people that understand who I am, who I truly am.
Could it be, what part of your body could you not be looking at for help here? So what you're looking for is an external source of home. And what are you overlooking that you weren't taught as a child either? Where to look and where to go to the home that you already have? What are you overlooking in your body that's there for you always? Where's your main source connection?
My heart. 100% my heart.
So nobody taught you when you were younger to go to your heart as a resource. We're not taught that when we're younger, to go to our heart as a resource. So we continually seek the outside approval. So what will it take now to go back to little Trent, who's been dissed, who's frustrated in some ways, who's not being heard, who's sad because the people around him can't hear him. They barely see him in some ways, let alone understand him. And there's so much compassion that you're carrying in your heart. And you're being misheard. Things are being misread. You're told off for things that you didn't mean it that way. You're misunderstood continually from the adults around you. But you know what part of you understands. So go back to that little Trent. And what would you say to little Trent now? From big Trent, from Trent who's been through all this and knows that the resource is in your heart. What are you going to say to little Trent who's so sad at what's happened to him?
What I would try to do is I would try to reason, but I don't feel like reasoning is going to help. So
there's only one thing you have to tell him to do. There's no reasoning required. It's an innate wisdom you carry in you, but it's been knocked out of you like so many people.
I just want to let him know that you are heard and you are understood and you are loved. no matter if you feel it or not. It's there and it's true, and it always has and always will be and always was. You know, your understanding now is very limited to the understanding that you'll have when you grow. And you won't always be in this place of hurt. You won't always feel alone. And you will find your people, and the right people will love you, and they will hear you, and they will see your worth, because you are worthy, and you do have so much to offer. And it's unique. What you have to offer is unique. What we all have to offer is unique. And that's experience through your perspective. Only you can offer that. There's only one. So go and have experience. Enjoy life. Love yourself and love things outside of yourself. This is going to help attract the things that'll love you back, the things that'll understand you back and provide that safe space for you. So just hang in there, because it does get better. It is better.
Have you got a place where you can tell him to go so he can get that connection to his soul family, so he can get that ancestral connection? Tell him where the place is in his body that he can go to, where he's always safe, that will always give him the answers he's looking for. Where is that place? Tell him.
Anytime that you feel unsafe or unheard, you can go in your heart, and that is connected to all the beings, to all the frequencies of light that do love you, that do understand you, that you were, that you are. All the things that make up you are there, and you can go to your heart and feel this safe space and feel this understanding and start to understand yourself. You don't have to look outside at this or that to try to understand yourself. All you have to do is look within and connect. It's there. The connection is it's there. And it always will be there.
So tell little Trent now that his heart is a time machine. So it can take him. It can take him to his ancestors, anywhere that he wants to connect to. That is his portal, and it doesn't belong to anyone else, and it's Trent's, and it needs no approval from anybody, anywhere, ever.
Anytime you wanna connect or feel safe, all you have to do is go to your heart. That is your safe space. You don't need confirmation from outside sources or validation. You already have the inner knowing. You was born with the inner knowing of what you know. You know that all that or this isn't true. What's true is what's in here. You can always go in there to find truth. You can validate yourself. You can love yourself. You can give yourself that love that you seek so much. There's millions of frequencies of light inside your heart ready to give you that love in a unique way. And what you have is unique as well, because you can offer them experience and love in a safe space, and it'll be just as valuable to them as their value is to you. And I want you to know that these beings inside your heart are beings of equal exchange, equal energetic exchange. These are the beings that you actually want to connect with, because as you provide value to them, they will provide value to you. You do not need to provide value to someone to gain their approval, to gain their understanding, to gain this or that. It doesn't matter. The real value is in the equal exchange. And the real value is, it comes from within and is built within and expressed outward. It isn't found outward and built in so it can be expressed out. It's already there. All you have to do is look.
How is little Trent now? How is little Trent feeling?
A lot better, understood, safe, loved.
So I want you to give him a big bowl of macaroni and cheese.
He loves mac and cheese.
Okay. Hand him off to Amanda, and she's going to put him back in your heart with his mac and cheese. And he's going to watch. Okay.
This little guy.
So now I want to bring in Maty here for this next process. We've had 2-3 interrogation levels going on, and now we've got to turn up the interrogation a little bit. So Maty, I just want you to play spiritual bad cop here. I start accusing him of things.
Oh God.
So, was your child at that age when you were vulnerable like that? Were you heard?
In the way that I needed, no. But in a lot of ways, yes, I was.
Or were you?
No.
So when you shone, so when you shone your light, was it seen?
No.
When you shone your light, was you ridiculed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this child hears your words, but it doesn't understand them. Because right now that child is in pain. That child isn't being heard. It is being ridiculed. And every time it shines its light, it's misunderstood.
Yeah.
And so without words, just imagine yourself, that child now looking up at you. And it says to you, I am in pain. I do feel lonely. And it puts out its arms and it reaches up to you. And I want you to just pick that baby up and just hold it close. I know this is not quite bad cop, but I could feel it's what needed.
No.
Needed.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I do. I just, it was time. And I don't want you to say anything to this child. Just hug it and know that all it wants is love. It doesn't need to understand. It just needs to know that somebody sees his light, even if it's himself. And give him a big kiss. Squeeze him. And then tuck him in his bed. Give him another little kiss. And watch him drift off to sleep. And I want you to sing him a lullaby in your head. How does that feel?
That's exactly what he needed at that time. Because, you know, like you said, he did need the understanding, but at that moment, what he just needed was comfort and love. And, you know, anytime that I don't feel that, I can always go back and hold that younger version of myself.
And don't speak for him. Let him speak for himself. And any other time anything comes up, don't speak for them.
What exactly do you mean by that?
So, okay. We're going to take the fluffiness away now.
Okay.
So how much of your light worker side projects onto other raw versions of you? Pieces and parts of you that don't understand light worker terminology, pieces and parts of you that don't give a shit about light worker terminology or any light worker activities for that matter of fact. How do you deal with those? What do you think they do when you start to get all light workery?
Yeah, they don't care or understand it necessarily. They just need safe space held at the time.
That's light worker bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
light worker bullshit. These are aspects that do not care about light worker word salad.
So no amount of talking or understanding that I have is going to help at all.
They're just
Not
like
if you're
Charlie.
Go
If you're
ahead.
projecting, it's like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah 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 wah. That's all they hear.
When
So
you were
whatever-
speaking earlier, Trent, you had a moment where you were just speaking, but there was no power behind the words at the beginning of the show. And then you began to came slightly crossed, like you could see the energy was like, no, this is, you become frustrated and you put some power into it. And then when you allowed the words to take over your intention, the power dropped and you softened again. Because the softness is not always the way to deal with these things. You can't fight a tiger with a feather. It's not going to work. You've got to fight a tiger with something badass. And that's what you need to pull out, because you're reverting because of the shame and the guilt and the blame that's put upon you by past versions of yourselves when you felt like you made the wrong choice or you behaved in a way that was inappropriate. You have to understand that you still had a certain element of power, and that power is not lost. It just has to be transmuted, alchemized.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's a big fear around this powerful version of myself because of the abuse that I've done while with power. But when I truly look at it, it wasn't power that I was using to hurt people. It was some false version of power. True power is not infringing on other people. True power comes with self-control.
Agreed. You went to look into your little light worker dictionary then, didn't you, for a second?
Yeah, I was trying not to sound all light workery and shit.
Mm-hmm. And you said something true.
Yes, that had a lot of power behind it.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
All right, so I'm gonna take over here for a second. There's an aspect within you from, let's say, age 16 to 17, in which it began collecting power, whatever you had frustrated and angry moments where you lashed out at people. So I want you to find the lasher outer in you. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? I want you to use your power, not your fluffy light language words, your actual power to force it to be in front of you. Face it. And it's going to lash out at you. It's going to say all these evil things. It cannot have more power than you. That's why you've got to hold it in front of you. And for right now, just hold it in front of you as I go through the rest of the group of the people to help you understand what it takes to hold power against your lasher outer. So Dale, I want to bring you here and help counsel him how to stay in power as this thing is lashing him with evil words, all the things that it's trying to dump onto him.
Okay. So I'd like you to bring this lasher outer in front of you, if it was stood right in front of you.
It's not allowed to leave.
You're not allowed to leave.
And what else do you want to say to it? Are you going to ask it why it's angry?
Just the energy of it being around's making me angry. I wanna smack the shit out of this old version of myself for all that it's done. All the pain that you've caused, not only me, but everyone around you, people that did love you, you lashed out at them for what? You lashed out when they were trying to help you. When they were trying to help you, you lashed out at them like they were wrong. And the whole time you were wrong. And that's what you do. You always flip the script. You always do this. You always do that because you can't take responsibility and accountability for your actions.
And I want you to say, I'm not giving you any fucking power anymore.
I'm not giving you any fucking power anymore.
I'm taking
You've had
this
power
power back.
long enough over me. I'm taking this power back.
And I want you just to bring some extra light as well around you, just feeling it flushing all around that fucker. So just bringing your own light and just feeling this light just surrounding this person and just saying it while you're shining this light onto the being as well. Giving it the willies.
I remove all power from you. No
Louder.
longer can you hurt me. No longer can you hurt me. No longer can you hurt other people. No longer can you make your problems everyone else's problems. This is the moment that you accept responsibility for all the pain that you've caused. This is the moment where you own up and fess up. There is no escape. There is no out. This is now. This is now. And this is the moment I take my power completely back from you. This is the moment I stand in my truth. This is the moment I'm in possession of myself, not you.
And I want you to take this shard now and put it into some dough. And I'd like you to get a rolling pin and start rolling this dough out and start rolling all the anger out of this shard as you're rolling it.
As you're turning it into a two-dimensional being.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew. You're just feeling yourself rolling that anger out, all of that frustration and that pissed off.
I'm so angry, I want to laugh.
Let it out. Laugh at you rolling all of that anger out and all of that frustration which has been built up and bubbled inside you. Just allow that just to come out of this shard by you taking your power back by rolling this out. Then after you feel like a lot of it's done, I'd like you just to bring it back into the shard form. And what is it saying now to you?
It's trying to guilt trip me like, oh, why'd you do that? I just literally told you why I did that. And you didn't hear nothing that I said. And that's your problem. That's not my problem because I hear what I'm saying. You don't hear what I'm saying. So that's a you problem. That's a you problem. So what do you want to do? Cause more pain? Stray further from the truth? Further from me? You see how far that's got you so far? Literally fucking nowhere.
It made you a two-dimensional ball of dough.
I made you a two-dimensional ball of dough. Play-Doh. And this is the moment where you no longer play me. I'm playing me. You don't get to be me. You don't get to do whatever you want out here, and then I have to take the consequences. That's not how this works. So this is the moment I take power back from you. This is the moment that I start shining light literally to you and giving you all the truth. Dissolving your very being, because that's what you're made up of, is fucking lies. You're one big ball of lies and stolen experience. That's all you are. That's all you were. and that's all you ever will be. Unless you decide to come back, which
It's not wrong.
I don't know if I want you back, because I don't trust you. I don't trust you. No, literally nobody trusts you. You're untrustworthy.
And just removing that, kind of like allowing it to have any choice, you've got to give it no choice. Saying it might come back, it can't fucking come back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're fired.
You're fired on all time streams, dimensions, realities, motherfucker.
This is your eviction notice. This is the moment that I take full power back. Any power that I've given you over me, past, present, and future, I now remove, revoke, and forever banish from your free will. You no longer have free will. This is the moment where I take all the experiences that you've stolen and I give them back. They're not yours. This is the moment. I mean, honestly, I don't really have nothing more to say to you. You're banished from my existence on all time streams, time fields, galaxies, dimensions, and realities, past, present, and future. Bye.
Get the fuck out of here.
Na 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 na. Hey, hey, goodbye. All the ancestors kicking in the ass on the way out. And he's got one box with no trophies. An empty box.
Slap that box out of his hand.
That's my box, bitch.
Fuck out of here.
Okay, that's my box. You ain't stealing my box, my pens, my stapler, nothing.
You can't be here.
Okay. Amanda, how did that feel for you?
I could feel the resistance very strongly. I could feel the anger very strongly. I could feel that it was like when he wasn't speaking from his power, it was like laughing at him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When he really started truly speaking from his power, I felt the resistance lessen. I felt that whole thing like in my heart very strongly. It was very similar to what I felt when I was going through my own healing. It didn't want to go. And as he went on, it loosened.
Mm-hmm. Laura, what of your views since you held little Trent, got little Trent up, and what have you seen gone since then?
So little Trent found the resource of his heart as he grew up into Big Trent. So, so what have I seen since then with Trent? So he's certainly regained much more of his power that was given away, much more of his sovereignty, because he's remembered he's got a heart and that's a good resource. And also I think he's also, I see getting some greater ancestral connection. So you've been since getting rid of those shards, which let's face it, are adrenal chemical based, aren't they? Their reactions. And you've been able to uncover and remember that your heart is your resource and your connection to your ancestors. I also feel them flowing through, and that you've got that, just feel a greater portal to them, a more open portal. It's less confused. I think you'll be more able to hear them now. You're really back. You're really back in your sovereignty.
Okay. I want you to talk to his shaman side now. The one that got him into the practice, the one that got him keeping going in the practice, and the part of them got him here today. What advice do you have for his shaman side?
Let's go down memory lane, Mr. Shaman. To what did it for you in the beginning, those mystical experiences, that part of you that got excited, that found the joy. when you discovered some of your connection to nature, some of your connection to fire, some of your connection to the elements, how the wind spoke to you when you went outside, how it whispered around you, how the trees spoke to you through their leaves, how you crunched through the leaves in the forest and yet you heard more than you heard. You felt more than you felt. Remember that connection? Remember those days when you went to the hills or wherever was your place of escape through the forest? And you felt it. You felt it in the air all around you. You felt it in the ethers. You felt them. You felt the words. You were spoken to. You were called, weren't you? You felt the calling in your heart, and you felt that joy, and you felt the joy of that mystical moment. That's what you need to remember now. Go back to that joy. What first got you on that journey where you wanted to bring home that feather, you wanted to bring home that stick and that stone, and you wanted to make a collection. And you wanted to go up and throw your arms in the air and connect to celestial brothers and sisters. And you wanted to go out and star watch, and you wanted to go and dance under the moon. And you wanted to sit with the sun on your face and let it flow through your body.
Those are some of my most fulfilling moments. Those are some of the moments where I felt truly connected and heard and felt and safe and understood. And like, I love that feeling of just being connected and with things that isn't bullshit. You know, and that's the thing. I was connecting with things that were real, Yes. Even though like I couldn't necessarily see them in front of my face, I felt them in my very being as real. And it's some of my greatest memories.
So let's stay there a while. Let's just go back to that mystical place, Trent. Let's just go and sit on a cloud, on the treetops, the snow on the top of the fir trees, and Wolf, the ancestors of the north, talking to you from Wolf. All your childhood through the fields, cradleboard of the 7 future generations. Let's run through the field of the coyote and the mouse and green fields and red flowers. We'll go to the east and greet the ancestors at dawn and fly with the birds of prey. Or to the west, to your dream time, and connect to the medicine wheel and brown bear. Let's do all these things again together, brother shaman. Let's do these things together. Let's go and light a spirit fire. Let's collect the wood. Let's pray over the wood. Yeah, let's put our pot on the fire again, shall we?
Yes, I would
and create steam. Let's do all that again. Let's do all those things that bring us back to who we really are, what we're here for. This is what we're here for, to recreate all that again, to remember it, because it's in us, it's in our heart. It's our very being, it's who we are. And the universe flows through you, me, and everyone every day, just saying, come and do this, light a fire with me. The universe will sit round that fire with you when you look at the stars. It's simple. It's the authentic you. The rest of it's crap.
100%.
The rest of it's crap. That's you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Laura.
Beautiful. Maty, is there any light language you want to speak to that shamanic side?
Go ahead. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, so first of all, what I'd like to say, the light can blind you. Sometimes the light can be so bright that all you can see is the light. this experience is grey. It's the middle shades of grey that you need to be experiencing to really get the full expression of what's going on. And in your shamanic expression, you mustn't allow the light to lead you off in a direction that serves no purpose other than just to be in the light, to look in the light, to see in the light. It doesn't mean that you move towards the dark. It just means that you experience the greys and you put no judgment upon them. Otherwise, you have your point of view is limited. And there's a future version of yourself that's been reaching out to me as Laura was speaking. So I will give some light language. Right, Trent.
Very powerful message.
Mic drop.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Mic drop. MC mic drop. So Trent, with this energy in you right now, I want you to look with hindsight to the very beginning of this show, where you were telling us how you just can't talk at times. Did that happen at all?
I didn't.
Who had power in you then?
These fractals of myself,
Okay. How did they get the power?
I gave it to them.
Okay. When did you give it to them?
I gave it to them when I thought that I needed them, whenever I created them.
With that being said, I want you to go to the most honest place you've ever been inside yourself and find what else have you given power away that you have avoided looking at, denied that it even exists. What back room closet that has never been opened do you have the strength to look into now?
It's definitely a version of myself that completely went against my moral compass and did certain things for money.
Yeah. How old is it?
Maybe 17 through 19, maybe 19.
Is it solely from this lifetime, or was it influenced from past lifetimes?
It was influenced from past lifetimes.
Okay. With the power that you have right now, I want you to cut it off from any influence of past lifetimes. Severed.
It's still attached.
You gotta sever it and use your sword.
Pull out the sword, cut it, cut the cord. Okay. What's it doing?
It's not severed.
Who's not letting it being severed? In this multi-dimensional, multi-focused situation right now, who is making it not severed? Is there another puppetry being in the background? Is it you?
It's me, because I want attention brought to it.
Okay. What attention do you want to be brought to it?
the attention that it needs to free itself from me.
What does that mean? The attention it needs to free itself from me. It sounds like it's running your words right now.
I want to do whatever I can to fucking get rid of it.
You've just lost all your power. Gone. Get back into your seat of your power. Does this thing have that much power over you that you can't cut its cords? That it runs your voice? Is it the dawn of your internal mafia?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens when you take down the dawn?
Whenever I take down the dawn, all I'm left with is myself.
And all the thugs that followed the dawn. Are you afraid if you take down the dawn, the thugs will just rise up in power and take you over again, like it's done over and over and over and over and over and over and over again?
It's weird because I don't think it's that at all. They like want me to identify with them so much. And if I let them go, my identity goes. And that's complete bullshit.
They want you to be the criminal. They want you to join the mafia and be a subordinate.
That's not going to fucking happen.
So then you need to turn state's evidence. Summon a spiritual court of equity, summon the prosecutors, and testify to this criminal dawn and its entire criminal organization that ran you from 17 to 19 up to today. Upload every criminal act it ever did, seen and unseen, and get resolution for them all now. So that the ancestors take them and remove them from your reality. See each and every one doing a perp walk out of your soul and into a prison, into a spiritual court of prison state. The light is exposed them, everyone, a perpetrator walk, just like in the movies.
You know, it almost disgusts me that like there's this part of me that like feels bad for them.
Sure, because you were in the mafia for a while. You were. Not anymore. You got a family now. Okay. Can't be on the street thug anymore. All the thugs, all of them got to go to jail, go to the spiritual jail they belong to, which is outside of you. All of them are getting 50 years.
I think the hardest part of this for me is they've been a part of so much of my experience that I almost literally thought that I was them for the longest time. And they had me fucking duped. They had me duped to where I believed that it was fucking me. That I believed for the longest time that their influence was me. And whenever I shut off a large portion of that, I was like confused. Because it's like, remember I was talking about the identity, like who am I? It's because I identified with all these false versions of myself for so long that once they left, I was like, I don't even know, but I do know who I am. I do know who I am. So why do I feel bad for shedding off so many lies?
I want to bring Maty in here now because he has his own personal experiences, something similar he went through, and as do I, and that's why I brought this up. Maty, help him understand between the shards that he's talking about and the loss of identity. And what kinds of wisdom do you have?
So what you've got to appreciate is that you were there in the background, and what it was that was being utilized. Now, you know, those elements of control that these organizations have. How do you know that any situation that they're putting you into isn't a trap, or isn't to fuck you over, or, you know, that sense of unsafeness that you get, you know? But you're here in this moment now, having these conversations, going through this process. So something led you there, didn't it? And in much the same way as those criminal organizations will twist your talents, your words, everything about you to suit their needs, this is what the internal programs do as well. They take away your power. So there's parts of you that you have given away because they've convinced you that they're not yours. And this is your power. These are the parts of you that are powerful, because when they come up again, you think it's these programs. You think, now I'm going back, I'm reverting back to who I was, but you're not. You're stepping into a new way of power. And if you truly step into it and use it against them, that's the game over. But right now, you're scared to go into those modes, those emotions and those powers, because you think it's them. That's why they don't believe anything that you're saying. And you can take those moments of strength when you did those things that just remove any form of judgment. Look how much bravery some of that stuff takes to do. You have got to have balls to live that life. You really do. Or just be stupid, because you know you've got the feeders and then you've got the ones who are being fed on. And I'm damn sure you weren't being fed on, so to speak. And that power, you just have to transmute it, and don't give in to the light worker bullshit. And I'm sorry for any light workers out there, but you've got to turn this on. You've got to turn it on. You've got to find your power. You've got to be strict to the point where you are willing to revert back to those old types and put them through what they put you through in an imaginative process. Use them to your advantage. Turn the game around on them.
So these aspects of myself that, you know, I think I don't need, I can actually use to my advantage. And like you said, flip the switch. Like, because sometimes the spiritual court of equity, they're not hearing shit in there, and they will keep attacking and keep attacking. So this is permission.
Because you don't have any power behind you.
So
because you don't have actual power behind you. Listen, you've got to know and be practiced at these things and know that they work. And the reason that you know that they work is because you've done them before. You practice, you practice, you practice. And as you know, take the sacred masculine revocation, take the beginning and take the end, and then fill in the middle of that with everything you've just spoken about. But try to be as direct as you possibly can without sympathizing with them. And that's what I do. That's what I do. You've given a lot of sympathy to these programs, brother. A lot of sympathy. And that's kind of where this goes, because when you're looking back, you're thinking it's the same thing. It's not. It's your essence. It's that which you are. It's the gifts that you've been given. It's your potency. It's not something to be afraid of. But yet you're afraid that if you go into that potency, you're going to trip up again. So therefore, you hold off of the accelerator. Try not to give full throttle. You're going in second gear, just kind of like thinking about third gear. You know, you want to be fifth gear without a speed limit, just roaring.
I agree. So,
and that's what it takes to live that life. You know what it takes. You can be a badass in the unseen world. No one's going to judge you for it.
And see, that's what they have me thinking, that, you know, I can't do this or that because it's not okay. Like, sometimes shit needs to be destroyed, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've destroyed many things on a regular basis. I like to create things like whirlwinds, tornadoes, or just absolutely humiliate things and throw them into the galactic central sun.
And see, that's where they got me tricked too, is they have me thinking that, you know, I shouldn't be doing this or that, you know, because it's wrong. But they keep fucking with me because I haven't done that, you know? So it is time to get out of second gear and do what the fuck I have to do. And that's
but first, you've got to develop power. First, you have to develop the power, the strength. And that comes with the conviction that you have in what you're saying, and hold yourself accountable. If you do it just for the sake of doing it and saying, oh, now I've done it, I'll be all right. No, mate. You've got to proper get angry, proper, you fucking, you've got to give it back. You've got to enter into that frequency. This is how I've learned to be the shaman that I am, because when I could only see the light, I was blinded by it, and it was holding me back, or worse than that, it was tricking me, sending me down false roads that were lies, that weren't light anyway. And it wasn't until I decided, no, there's many middle shades of grey, and I can exist in any one of them.
This is a classic example where the old metaphorical brick in the purse that I had a person do live on a show. You need to put on your spiritual brass knuckles, and you need to be able to break some ribs in those programs. Okay? This is not physical violence to other people causing karmic interaction. These are aspects that abuse you. It's your energy, and you are not abusing yourself when you're doing this. You are shattering its ability to have power over you. When they're all limping in the corner with broken legs and crushed ribs, they have no power, do they? Then you can easily dissipate and release them. But if you don't, they will stay with this power, and those cords will never be cut. All right, with that being said, we're going to take a break here. Actually, we're going to be opening up to calls in just a second. And I want to, Dale, what do you think of what just happened here with the Mafia Don and what I said and then what Maty said?
Yeah, I completely agree with what was going on. And I definitely think going forward, Trent, would be for you to set up a regular sacred fire where you're able to really speak to those parts and take it to the next level of taking them to the spiritual court of equity prison. And I want you to start using your psychic surgery senses and pulling them out, then putting them in and telling them you're taking my energy, and you no longer have my energy. You are a program, you are a memory, and I sever you in all timelines, dimensions, and make it sacred. Start pulling all this shit out of you from that lifetime which is still in you, and forgive yourself, forgive it all. But now it's time to let it go, empty the burden basket, as it's not growing you anymore. I've had many different memories in this lifetime where I've been in the similar situation as well. And those things ran me for a while, and I had to really bring them and do that inner work. So beautiful, Maty and Andrew and Laura, what has happened today, and for you to then go forward and take it to the next level, make it sacred, have a fire ceremony, bless the wood, put prayer and intention into that wood of what you're doing as well. Exactly, you're ready to remove these fuckers, put that prayer into the wood as well, and make it, fuse it sacred, and start taking it out of you, all of that shit, while you're saying maybe a good idea to have written down prayer, so you've got it all ready for you. Get that shamanic side within you as you're doing it. Sage yourself, make sure the spaces have an offering for the land as well. And you're doing really well, brother. You're absolutely inspiring, and lots of love to you, bro.
And how about also maybe doing a gangster rap about it as well?
Yep.
So something that has no light worker words in it at all, no prayer in it at all, proper gangster rap where you just let rip at these things in that frequency.
Yeah.
And another thing to know, as you begin to kick them out, you will notice that there's lots of stolen goods that they leave behind. You will have to give away all the stolen goods. That's a hoarded treasure of stolen power from other people that those programs did to you outside of you. And that's another very, very background, subtle reason of not getting rid of them, because they've got the hoarded treasure. And you just send back all the power they stole from others during that phase, can go back to who it belongs to.
And it might be great at the end to get that sword out again and go, haha, motherfuckers. I've got the power now.
Exactly.
And
in that ceremonial space that Dale was talking about, when you get into that ceremonial frequency and you really mean it, and you call in that power that you've given away, or any power, and you clean it with the power of that ceremony, you'll feel it come back into you.
Give away the stolen treasure. Okay. And then you're going to discover how much power they used inside you, saying, we've got all this power, dude. Just join the crew. Join the crew and you'll get your little percentage of it.
Yeah.
Not the whole thing, just a percentage.
And that's the thing too.
Mhm.
They always try to trick you like you have all this power. No, you're just being controlled.
Just being controlled. Okay. With that being said, we're going to call it an end to this healing and we're going to be opening up to calls. So Trent, just take a couple deep breaths. Let your psalm calm back down. Now, for anybody that's here in the Zoom room and you want to be able to ask questions about the healing, direct to Trent, myself, anybody that's in the room here, now's the time where you can go down to the button and click the raise their hand button. And if people are trying to figure out how do you raise your hand, depending on what device you are, you click the 3 dots more and go raise your hand. Or if you are on one of the devices that just has it to raise your hand, you can go raise your hand, raise your hand. And we've got a bunch of people that have already raised their hand. So let's bring on, here, I'll ask Amy Kruzik. Let's give you a signal to unmute.
Amy.
Amy, hello.
Yes. Hello.
What did
Hi.
you think of today's session?
Wow. It was freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. I'm telling you. I went through so many Trent, I just wanted you to go boom, boom, boom. You know, I'm like, come on, fucking beat the living crap out of them. That's what I was. But for myself too, was like, oh my God, so I went from crying to that. Like my body's been going through this whole, a lot of feels.
Yes.
A lot of feels like it was. And I mean, Laura, beautiful. Maty, oh my God, beautiful. It was just amazing, Andrew. I don't know. It was.
You see how the structure of these interrogation sessions with multiple people, the programs have no defense against it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for Trent, I saw these like little pockets on you, like full of tricks. And like you go into that and pull the trick out, and it was like a trick. I don't know. I just saw all these little things, and it feels like they're all sewn up now. You can't even get in there anymore.
Good.
Yeah, it just felt like that.
Good. Because yes, I definitely was a trickster, you know, like I had this version of myself that was always creating these scenarios that never happened, you know, so I would prepare for them. 90% of them never happened. And the other percent, I didn't remember what I planned while they were happening. So I had to literally do whatever in the moment. So it just goes to show that like there is no, like we can prepare for certain things, but if it's not serving us, then we don't need to. What it does is create paranoia. And I had a lot of paranoia programming within myself that were tricks.
When does anything turn out the way you imagine it?
Did it?
You know, when does anything turn out the way you imagine it's going to be?
Oh.
Nothing ever does it? You can try to visualize exactly. Let's say you're going away on a vacation. You're trying to think what it's going to be like without seeing it. You know, you can't.
And then in the moment, like if something does happen that you might have thought of, you don't remember what you planned. Don't remember shit about what I planned. So
No.
It's just a lot of wasted energy that was unneeded.
Yeah, I saw a lot of you in me, a lot of it. It was like, wow, this is really a clearing, you know, even though I'm not on the hot seat or whatever you want to call it, the healing, I like the healing room. A lot has cleared. I mean, the little girl that Maty, when you were talking about the little boy, holy moly.
That's powerful, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus. It was. And the shards and
the dichotomy from the way Laura did it right into the questioning about the other part.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's like it. Oh my God. Yeah. Laura's little trip down memory lane was beautiful. Like, oh God.
It was so beautiful.
Oh, and I like the mafia. I do like the mafia. the little
We all
All
have an
those-
inner mafia. We all have an inner mafia, whether you been a criminal in life or not.
Yeah.
We
And
all have
I never realized about all the little henchmen back there.
And they all want to be the Don. They all want to be the Don.
And they're going to step all over you to get to be the Don.
Right?
Oh my gosh, like troves of them. It was just so cool to see that. Oh, Trent, I'm so happy for you and Amanda.
Thank
When
you
you
so
become aware, of these things that they're in you and that they're operating, then you get to see also the extra layers where the sympathetic and parasympathetic are using them against you as well. Other layers. Is this me or is it the ego? Where does it come from?
Yeah.
They're all working against you like this organized mafia.
And
Literally.
I'm so glad that I know now that it's okay to do what I have to do in the spirit world, because there was a part of me that like feels bad, that doesn't want to hurt people anymore, and there's also a part of me with the awareness that we have to be careful fighting certain things because we can become them. And this came from me actually becoming a monster, fighting a monster. So that created a fear as well. But it just goes to show that like whenever you do this, you do have to have the awareness, and you have to have the discernment, so you don't become a monster, and that's why the ceremony afterwards is so important, the speaking in the spiritual court of equity, the cleansing myself, so I don't take that energy back into my regular life.
Yeah. And I
Right,
like the
Amy.
call. Yeah,
Go ahead,
thank you.
go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say I like the way that you call out the light worker stuff too, Maty.
We have to.
It's-
We
it's-
have to
yeah.
call
It's
out the
going to-
light worker side.
It helps. It helps.
It's going to trigger a lot of people. It's going to trigger a lot of people, but we're at a point in this journey now where that kind of stuff just doesn't serve anymore.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's becoming quite destructive in people.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
The recovering
you.
light worker.
Yes, we will be creating some merch around recovering light worker.
Coming soon, guys.
Light workers anonymous.
Yes. All right, Amy.
Thank
Amy,
you.
you're welcome.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
calling in. All right. So, Katie Thomas, we're giving you a signal to unmute. Katie, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Where are you calling from today?
I am calling from Lynchburg, Virginia.
Lynchburg, Virginia. What did you think of the show today?
I think it's fantastic. I'm really excited to have all these new methods along with fires.
You are breaking up.
All
Are
of
you
us
there?
who've been following you for a while. So fantastic.
Was there any part of it, of the healing that you connected to?
Can you hear
for
me
yourself?
okay?
Yeah, you're back now. You faded out for a second.
Oh, thanks. I really feel like I could do the interrogation on myself now that I've seen it demonstrated once.
Mhm.
I know that's kind of ambitious, but I really think if I get in the right frame of mind, I'm able to put myself through something similar. And it really to light, I have to approach it from every angle. Like we can't just throwing light at the stuff. And revocation started to get you started to like stir things up. But what's got Jeff and look at each individual refined tool, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. And it's exactly why we wanted to do shows like this.
Oh, I hope I'm not losing.
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit. So part of us wanting to do shows like this is to show the exact example so people like you can say, I can try. I've seen the example. And if people want to know how you can interrogate yourself, you know yourself better than anyone. Just start writing down interrogating questions over the next several days, or even over a period of several weeks, where you can tap into your inner genius about yourself and get the truly interrogating question. Okay? And yes, anybody can do it. You don't need the whole room here. Part of the inner work is doing it on your own. Why are we showing this? So everyone else has the opportunity to go and do it when they have an opportunity to do it for themselves. And all the little tips and techniques that you've learned through both of these shows, how to apply it to yourself. Knowing when you're avoiding the real answer. Did we lose her? I think we
Yes,
lost
I
her.
think so.
Yeah. All right, so let's bring on Asa Angelica. Signal to unmute. You've had your hand up.
Hello.
Hello, where are you calling from today?
Ibiza, Spain.
Ibiza, Spain. Welcome to the show. What did you think of the show today?
Oh, amazing. It was a big confirmation. I've done this now for years. After I talked to you a few years ago, we started everything, unraveled. And yeah, so I'm like, yes, I did this in my way, but I recognize the techniques and going, past, present, and future selves and all this, and even caught myself doing. I get this answer sometimes, that hope I can get, like voices in my head that just tells me to keep on going. And I caught myself that I'm actually doing it myself. It was me all the time from the future, sending love and hope and appreciation to myself in my past. So that has been amazing. And I'm just here in Ibiza having a party. What can I say?
Living the great life.
Great and great. Yeah, Ibiza
Yes.
is Ibiza. Is it's everything in a 10 times whatever. Yeah.
So was there anything specific that you learned from today's stuff? Anything you'd like to relay to the audience, or a personal thing that you've went through?
Yeah, a lot. So while I'm here in Ibiza, I've been connected a lot to the mermaids. I have mermaid parties by myself.
Mermaid dance parties?
Yeah, I do. And I love here in Ibiza you have music. Yeah, well, now it's over. The party's over. but they have, music everywhere, DJs everywhere on the beaches and everywhere. So I go to a beach and I dance and I do light language. And as you have spoken about many times before, it's like spirit doesn't care about anyone looking at you. Right. So just do what you got to do whenever you got to do it. So that's what I'm doing. And I have the spirit telling me, go to this beach and do this. And I just follow. And I have people coming up to me and just telling me you're amazing. I love you. I love all of you. I love your vibration. I love you. Out of nowhere. So this has also been a very good confirmation for me, because spirit is not physical. So having people just come to you and just tell you that it's working. So I'm very grateful to be here and to work with spirit through the ocean and through the crystals here in the ground and Esvedra. So
wonderful.
I like to ask you when I'm here in Ibiza, what more can I sort of do here?
We'll save those kind of questions for another show. Today's show is just about what's going on with the healing that's going on.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling in. We're going to move on to the next caller.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Let's bring on Reese Warner. Signal to unmute.
Am I on, guys?
You are on. Where are you calling from?
Wales, South Wales.
Wales.
Wales. Welcome to the show. What did you think of today's healing?
I thought it was beautiful. It was beautiful. honest to God, the passion he started putting into it in the beginning, the way Dale got him into that space, it was amazing. The way you laid yourself bare, Trent, it was amazing. I felt it straight through the art space, to be honest with you. I wrote it down where Dale made me cry when he got him into that art space. Laura made me cry when she was talking about the way she got him into it.
Oh.
And then I got it written down, the boy. Then when Maty got him into the boy state, it was like, whoa, brought me right back to the river. Where all my hurts went down the river, and so did Laura's. Brought me right back to that art space there. I was like, beautiful. Smashed me, blew my lid up again, people, I tell you now. Maty's like language at the end, very powerful. Right through the art space every time. The passion.
Reese was there when
I was willing him raw, tell him, raw. Tell him, Trent. Rah!
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So smack the shit out of it.
Sack that fucker. Sack him, Trent.
Exactly. Sock him. Brass knuckles. No holds barred here.
I've been waiting to get these out for a long time.
Yep. You may need to go get a spiritual speed bag.
I agree.
We lower out the space as well, beautiful. I felt it last week when you were holding the space for her. It's right through the art space you had me last week as well. Beautiful. You could feel the love coming out for Laura, for Amanda, sorry.
Oh yes, we could all feel it.
You could feel the love that you had for her, straight through my art space again, Trent. Like I said to you on the text. Beautiful, man. The way you lay yourself bare. Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Reese, thanks a lot for calling in. We're going to move on to the next caller. So let's go, Hillary. We'll give you a signal to unmute. Hello, Hillary.
Hello, another
How
amazing
you doing?
session.
Hillary!
Yay, that was powerful. Definitely a lot of tears, and this part that's the mafia part was really interesting for me.
Did it show you had an inner mafia?
Well, that's the part I'm in denial about. That's the part I need to look at.
Probably means you do have one.
I mean, you do have one. Yep.
Well, I could feel Trent's fear when you're asking him to like handle the mafia. I could feel he doesn't want to, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I don't want to, because, and when I reflect on that, it's easier for me to rely on them to have the power, or that I'm used to that. And so like I could feel this sense from him is like, this is my family, like I'm not letting them go. And there's also that idea of being a snitch, like that aspect of it. So like fear of the wrath or the judgment. It's just so interesting to me. It's so interesting. And I'm not sure how to manage it for myself, although I appreciate this experience. It's just a lot to consider right now. And it terrifies me at some level. And I could feel that aspect where the power diminished, where it was like, and I can feel that in myself. I do want all my power back. And it's like, what am I willing to do to get my power back? So I appreciate this format, this template. Like I'm not sure how to deal with this mafia. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Trent, what advice do you have for her on a mafia group?
Well, here's the thing. Like, you know, they have us thinking that, oh, it's wrong to do this or to do that. Here's the thing. When just talking and communicating doesn't work, we need to take further action. And that's exactly what we found out today. Like, I'm willing to do whatever I have to do in order to take my power back. And for the longest time, I didn't think that was okay, because I've literally been running from this version of myself that like took power in his own hands and abused it. and they will use that version of you so that you don't do that to them. Well, here is your permission to get out the brass knuckles and get a couple rib shots in. I know you want to get some rib shots in.
I'm like, can I use a blowtorch? I want to use a blowtorch. Okay.
Anything. I meant just, let me give you a metaphor as well, though, just to keep in mind, right? So just imagine you've got a crack house. All the gangsters are in there. They're fully armed. They're doing their thing. And you drive by in your car and you shoot 6 shots into the house. Right? What are they going to do?
They're going to retaliate.
They're going to come at you, aren't they? Guns blazing, full pelt. Right?
Then it's GTA,
drive by.
and they're behind you, and you've got 007 spikes and machine guns coming out your rear end.
And that's the moment when you're like, I don't have to run from shit. Like, you put your literal protection up, and the gunshots don't matter. Like, they don't affect you. You know what I mean? This is the knowing that we have. We're protected.
You don't need protection in those moments. You need to become more than. So don't be the person in the car. Be a fucking hurricane. Do you know what I mean? Be something more. Just destroy it instantly and do it over and over again. If you feel a little bit more of it arise, do it again. But don't just be someone driving by the house, firing 6 shots in and running away.
That's what I was doing anyway. That's literally what I was doing. I was doing drive-bys this whole time. It's like, so that house, that trap house we're talking about, send a fucking tornado through it. That's what it meant. And when they're on the road, on the road shooting at you, send a fucking hurricane through. Yeah. That's all.
Maybe some explosives.
Yeah, you got to get creative.
I use nuclear weapons. Yeah, I use nuclear weapons. Sometimes if I'm looking at like some demonic dream world or something like that, then I will literally nuke it and see the mushroom cloud and everything. Oh.
Okay.
I need some nukes in my life. Some nukings will be happening in the future. Just so you guys know.
Exactly. Go John Wick on their ass. You just killed my dog.
Yes.
All right, Hillary. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank you.
We love you, Hillary.
Cheers. Thank you.
Love you all.
Bye.
Let's signal Andy's iPhone. Signal to unmute.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hi. Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Dale's neighbour. It's Andy's iPhone, but it's because I had an absolute tantrum with my iPhone passwords, and my husband off me and named it Andy's iPhone, so I'll always remember. It's Julie Smith here.
Oh yes, hi Julie.
Hi Dale. Hi. So I've been typing and working away, and I've looked at what I've just read, and I've put hindsight and foresight, which obviously made me switch that off and listen a bit more. So I just wanted to say thank you. Absolutely thank you. What a Trojan horse of a healing session that was. Absolutely.
Did you get emotional or teary at any parts?
I've got a bit of a swinging break where my heart is. So emotional I probably didn't get, but that doesn't mean I don't feel it. The thing that really struck me was, I think when you said, Trent, the inner judgment ahead of time, that was something else that really rang a bell, that you had that inner judgment ahead of time. And I work in a secondary school. I teach maths and I look after loads of little children, and their inner judgment runs wild ahead of time. It's so destructive. And to sit that inner child down and hold space for them and allow them to explore why they're doing that just took me back to when I did it, and probably Dale and probably Andrew and yourself. And I just think, why do we do that? Why do we put judgment ahead of time? Why is that?
To control ourselves.
It's the most bizarre thing that, so I'm a head of year. So I look after 200 children, and I probably teach about 125 a week on top of that. And they all do it, every single one. It's bizarre.
So the reason that I was doing it was as a form of protection for myself. I thought that I had to constantly prepare for everything to be the best version of myself, to have the best version of myself to present to other people, when that's actually not true, because the best version of myself is who I am now, speaking authentically. It's not what I prepared to say. it's what I'm saying in this moment. And I really think that's why so many of us do it, is the judgment and to feel safe, to feel accepted, and all the lies.
It's beautiful. And when you were talking, Trent, I got flashbacks of myself doing it as a young child, which Dale can attest to. And I got flashbacks of every child I sat with while they were doing it. And I just thought, I'm going to really think about this going forward into my teaching practice. And when you were clearing it just before you got angry, just before that raw moment, I kind of had a bit of a chuckle because you were brewing up to it. And then all of a sudden, just before you got angry, you did that parent thing where you go, you've let yourself down. I am too angry to speak to you and get mad. And it's like, don't say you're disappointed. Don't say this. Just shout at me. Don't say you're disappointed in me. And I could feel it brewing. And my own children, when they were teenagers, used to say, don't do the talking to, telling off, Mum. Just shout at me. And I could see that brewing and calmness. We're going to just go, have it. And when you started giving it, I went and got myself a beer and thought, man, he's done it.
Well, thank you for celebrating that for me.
Well, that's all wonderful. Darling, thanks a lot for calling in. We've got a couple more callers that we want to get to. So we've got Santo Cavallero. Signal to unmute.
Santos.
Hello.
Hello, Santo. Early in the morning for you once again. What did you think of the show?
This is brilliant. Well done, Trent. You know,
Thank you.
It was so familiar because having Sicilian genes, everything that you were experiencing kind of reminded me at a personal level of the type of trickster energy that can be glamorized. You know, like I said, it was like watching a spiritual soprano series. And they know how to dangle shiny objects and fancy things in front of you, glamorize it. And it's easy to get sucked in, and we all have been. And as a child growing up in that, I saw it early on that there was another side to it. And I watched as my friends in my teenage years were fascinated by it, and some even married into it, were so engrossed by this tantalizing energy, and then watch them have these traumas that they couldn't understand. And I could see in you this energy that is hauntingly tantalizing, yet needs to be told where to go. Absolutely needs to be told. It's an old trick. It's been used over and over, and we keep getting sucked in. So well done for holding your own, and keep holding on. It's not easy because they've always got something new to throw at you. And I could hear it in your voice how hard it was to say to F off, you know, because it's very attractive. And it's the way it's done, Trent. It's the way it's done. So it's not the ultimate temptation. It's that we all have to stand in our own energy and be responsible, as Andrew says, to the level up of our awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow, and you know now. So you've got to be responsible. You've got to tell it to F off, and we've got to put our big boy pants on and just know, you know, how this darn energy keeps sucking us in. And I thank my, incarnational experience in the space of being directly in the soup of it, because it exposed me on a daily basis. But when it's on the street and it invites you in, it takes a little bit longer, because you're not experienced on a daily basis of the mechanics of it, of how it actually keeps luring you in. You know, it keeps giving you another little shiny thing to hang around your neck. And so You get it. You totally get it, Trent. So well done. And just keep the big boy pants on. Stay on that path.
Thank you, Santos. And you're exactly right, because it doesn't come all in at once. You know, it'll dangle a little thing here and a dangle a little thing there. And next thing you know, you're right back. But we can use these aspects of ourselves for our benefit. Like I can see patterns very well, and I don't have to use that to trick people. I can use strategy in a way that doesn't just benefit me. You know what I mean? And I know that might sound white worker salad, but it's not. We can use strategy that isn't completely selfish, that fucks everybody over. We can use strategy that benefits people.
We can use strategy that is selfish, that doesn't fuck anyone over as
exactly.
Well.
Yeah,
exactly.
See, Maty really came in as the entity hitman and was really trying to bring you to that point of almost ball busting energy. And once you're back in that childhood cause of the effect, it wasn't like a portal, an entry point to take that ball busting energy with its full power. What I find interesting is when people who have been traumatized in a trickster way, and the cults do it. That's a good example. These religious cults, they suppress the anger, and the anger gets confused as a type of energy that should never be used. So you can never resolve conflict because you're always trying to do it in a non-anger, non-conflict. Look, conflict is conflict, Trent. And sometimes you got to get in the ring, throw a few punches. You're not that person, but in the moment, you just have to be it. And I could see you kind of looking at the ring, trying to put the boxing gloves on, getting the string tangled, and just throw the punch. Just do it. And you'll feel better. And you came so close, and you did it in certain ways. But they were more jabs than a full swing to the jaw, knockout. Knock the entity out. It's okay. Conflict resolution is something we all have to deal with. It's just part of this experience.
Yeah.
So, Santo, how would you recommend knocking him out? What's your preferred method?
With his voice, and like Maty said, if he pulls out that revocation, the masculine revocation, and rewrites it with the words that are the knockout punch words, lights the fire and says them, he'll hear the vibration in his voice as the knockout punch is coming, right? So he can do it. It's a discipline, but it's the hardest thing, because I know what it's like, how the shame, blame, guilt in these mafia style environments, they don't knock you out. They call it love. I'm just trying to help you here. Why are you doing this to me? And I could hear that in your reasoning over and over. It's like when I tried to leave home as a teenager, I got the, what is it we don't do for you? What are we not doing? You're doing everything. And then they bring it to the second level. Do you know the shame you will bring on this family if you leave?
Exactly.
I'm not going to bring no shame to this family. And so my dad's knockout punch for me was, you leave this home, you leave with the clothes you've got on, and I never recognize you again. That's the ultimate guilt trip. And I said, well, I guess I'm going. Because I knew it was trickster. Yeah, I said, see you later. But I knew it was trickster energy. I knew that there was a connection of love in a very inverted way. the entity that enters your game is not entangled with you in a loving way. It's a trickster. So you can confidently say, I can knock this out, and it's not going to play that it's like a multi-level game, and they just know where you are at in that game better than you know yourself. And they're always 2 steps ahead of you. So just as you think you've delivered a little jab, they're already playing this inverted game of soprano family style, glamorized, but we love you. Where have you been? It's so typical of this energy. You know, it's the where you been all my life, hug you, but they're holding a knife in the hand.
Yep.
And it goes into your back, into your heart, and you don't even know that it's happening. And you're wondering where this friggin' knife came from. You totally get it, Trent. You've been there, you've done it to death. You can live now, breathe, light that fire.
Thank you, Santo.
Love
Thank you
life.
for
And thank you for sharing it with us, because I love this format, which seems kind of weird that it's virtual, but it's as real as any other form of healing. And the sharing of it is a massive learning for all of us. So thank you for allowing us to share this experience.
Absolutely.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure, honestly. Such a pleasure.
So happy days for you, Trent. Thank you.
Happy days for you, Santo.
And thank you once again, Santo, for calling. We know it's early in the morning for you, but you're all right. We do these calls so people can learn from the example how they can do it on themselves, and all the little subtleties that are learned from the live show to the Q&A that's done here, all the different ways people can learn to apply the teachings to themselves.
Thank you, Andrew. And I really appreciate the patience you've got and the foresight to put these style of healings in motion. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we got time for one more caller. Because I'm on a different device and I don't have it, can somebody just pick the next caller?
Yeah, Jason Plum. I'm giving you the signal to unmute.
Jason.
Right there. Hey, guys.
Hey, man, nice to talk to you again. What did you think of today's show?
I was really appreciative of it. I have been watching the last 2 couple shows have been really applicable, because I'm going through a similar thing, and I wanted to say to Trent and Amanda that you're not alone. As to the rest of you out there, you're not alone, and to learn about these strategies and to see taking it to the next levels by coming at it multi-dimensionally and having these powerful healers. And Dale, everybody's got a different flavor. It's so helpful to then imagine applying it to my own healing, and then trying it with Ginny, Anna, Ginny, even though we're one-on-one, I can still bring in this helpful stuff. So thank you guys. And thank you, Trent. Amanda, you look great. It's really great to see you. When you spoke, you looked strong. You could see the light coming out of your eyes. Well done. Trent, my man, I was there with you, bro. It was nice to see you work. I was right there. I'm proud of you. Way to endure.
Thank you, bro.
So Jason, what did you think of the mafia part?
The mafia part, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Even though I have an Italian background, I can't relate to myself as much. I was looking for my mafia simultaneously. I deal with a martyrdom and a zealot kind of loop myself. So I'm a protector, and I loop into some zealotry. So as to what the mafia Don looked like there, I was trying to simultaneously pay attention and see how it applied to me.
So your mafia is the mafia of zealots and martyrs.
I would say so. Yeah.
They all talk to each other. They all email each other. They all have WhatsApp groups.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've been noticing.
Mhm.
But yeah, and thank you, Maddie. That light language, dude. Holy, that was powerful. It was like boom, right into my chest, all up to my head. I was shaking my head like, yep, and that. It was awesome. And also, Maddie, when you changed gears from bad cop and you said that I want you to hug that kid, I realized that, you know, I needed affection. You know, I needed affection and I needed a hug. And I still do. And it's something that I can't ask for directly sometimes because maybe my heart's a little closed and I'm trying to help too much with my martyrdom and zealotry loop. And then I don't get the hug I need, you know? Yeah. So
And
thank
for
you.
me, that the reason I come up with that is because that's something that Andrew taught, but it was something that for me was incredibly powerful because my young children are the most innocent thing in my life. You know, the smell of their head, you know, they're just everything about them is just pure. And I was able to relate that to that part of the healing. So when I did pick up my inner child, I could actually, my past, you know, child self, I could actually smell his hair. It was a very visceral experience for me. And it was, for someone who's not got a hard heart, but certainly a strong one, it was one of those moments that really did just crumble and bring me to tears. Just, you know, just real deep connection to that which is innocent, which we can lose along the way, right?
Exactly. You touched my heart and it brought me to tears too. And I appreciate it.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks a
thank
lot
you
for calling
all.
in, Jason.
You got it.
Sure.
Thank you guys. Keep up
All
the
right,
good work.
everyone. Right.
Thank you,
We're gonna
Jason.
call it an end to the show today. We'd like for you all to hit the like and subscribe button, put a comment on the Facebook page, share this far and wide, share it to friends and family who are willing to go through their own healing on their own journey. And knowing we've got a lot of examples out there. We will be back this coming Thursday for another show, everyone. Spread it far, spread it wide. And you have to be on the lookout for the new things that are going to be coming from Two Feathers Medicines in conjunction with me, the Galactic Historian. We have some incredible things planned in the background.
And if you want to get onto locals.com and type in Two Feathers Medicine, set up an account. It doesn't take long. There'll be stuff posted on there as well, which is setting up a community there. So that's Two Feathers Medicine on Locals, the new platform where you can say what you want.
we will be back. All right, Joel, send us all to the breakout room, and whoever's left listening to the playbacks will get to finish listening to the show.
Yeah, I answered some.
Have that breakout.
You're echoing. You don't have the breakout feature?
No.
It's okay. All right, let's just we're gonna have to ask everyone to leave the main room then. No big deal. All right, so we have to just ask everybody to please leave the Zoomy room. We have to have our little after show talk.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right.
Weapons are coming out.
Exactly. So we'll probably just have to click out, just put everyone in the back in the waiting room. And then you can end the live stream. Oh, Joel went into the... I put Joel in the waiting room by accident. Sorry, Joel.
Is it quicker than to put in the waiting room then instead of yeah?
Yeah, I did put you in the joke. You go ahead and end the live stream, Joel.